you might look at this and think that we are in a 67 Mustang
66
Mustang Shelby. But actually, what year is this car built?
Well, this particular car was built in 2016. It was shown at the 2016 SEMA show on the Ford stand.
And check this out, you guys. It actually has a navigation screen. So, he's going to have a little fun here. But look how beautiful this is. If you remember driving around in a Mustang from the 60s, this has all the nostalgia without all the bump and grind that a Mustang had. So tell me a little bit about this car and why you decided to build it.
Well, you know, there's so much history, obviously, around Mustang. Everyone has a Mustang story. My first car was a 65 Mustang. I worked for Ford Motor for 17 years, so it was always really special to me. But, you know, there is, by modern standards, the old cars just don't really perform the way that people expect cars to perform nowadays. They're slow, they're noisy, they're not reliable, they smell like gasoline, you know, they're uncomfortable. And so my thinking was, well, why not take modern technology and integrate it with vintage architecture and come up with the ultimate classic car? All the style and the appearance, character of a classic, but the functionality of a modern car. That's the idea.
And so what's the engine in this car?
This is the same engine that you would get if you were to buy a new Mustang GT. It's a Coyote 5-liter. This particular car has the Gen 2 Coyote, 435 horsepower. We're now producing cars with the Gen 3, which is 460 horsepower.
So what was the horsepower of the original Mustang?
The highest performance Mustang you could get back in '66 was they call it the K code, the K engine code. It was 271 horsepower, but that was gross. It was measured differently. It was a gross rating. It was higher than the net ratings that are using now. So converting is roughly double the power.
And so what kind of safety measures did you have to implement in this car versus something you might not have had in the 66?
Well, you asked what we had to do. Because we're building a replica, I mean, technically the parts that we use have to meet modern safety standards, but the car as a whole doesn't. Obviously, a car with the architecture of a 60s car can't meet modern standards, and we don't have airbags and anti-lock brakes and things like that. But we do take a lot of steps to improve the safety of the cars. For example, they're all equipped with four-wheel disc brakes. That's standard. The steering has a collapsible shaft. In an accident, it would collapse. There's additional structure in the doors for a side impact. The braking system is a dual circuit system. The original one only had a single circuit, so if you had a hydraulic failure, you would essentially lose your brakes. The car is equipped with an inertia switch in the event of a collision. It shuts off the fuel pump, so there's no fuel flow. That makes it less likely to have a fire. All the lighting is LED, so it's much easier for people to see you. It's much easier to see when you're driving the car at night because the LED headlamps light up much more of the roadway. So, you know, safety, much safer than an original car. Obviously not at the level of a current car, but we've done as much as we can do, and at the same time preserve the original aesthetic.
So you use the original body design of the Mustang, but it's made new.
Yep.
And then you use modern parts, and it's hand assembled essentially.
That's correct.
And so, what's the price tag on this car?
This is our Shelby model. This one starts at $194.
$194.
$194. Can you believe it? Can be years.
$194,000. So that is quite the collector's item. And so, how many different models do you build?
We have 7 different models now. They're all different versions of the 65 to 68 Mustang and Shelby lineup. all with modern technology, all built using brand new body, brand new parts.
So one thing I want you to notice, and you can't really see it here, but if you were to get in here and touch the ceiling, you would notice that this is a very soft suede. It's Alcantara, which is one of the premium features, and the leather and the details inside are spectacular. Well done.
Thank you.
This is really beautiful. Thanks
you.
for spending a few minutes with us and taking us for a ride.
Well, thanks for having me.